Hi, I'm Joe. This is Out of Shape Music, here to talk about all things music. Shoegaze, the fascinating music genre every pedal lover and noise rock enthusiast admires more than the common Joe. Shoegaze has been around since the 1980s, where it emerged from the indie and alternative rock scene from the UK. Shoegaze artists are typically categorized by having an ethereal sounding mixture of obscured vocals, guitar distortion and effects, feedback, and overwhelming volume tonal overtures. Shoegaze as a whole is a visceral experience that most music fans might not be too familiar with, but should be. Like any other genre, there's a number of fantastic records that fit under the shoegaze umbrella, many of which are deemed to be essential shoegaze albums. To help get you started on your shoegaze journey, or just as an overall album recommendation, let's discuss 6 essential shoegaze albums. Number 1, Chapterhouse, Whirlpool. Whirlpool is the debut album from Chapterhouse, an excellent shoegaze and alternative rock group that formed in 1987. Whirlpool is an excellent mixture of dream pop and shoegaze, making it an intriguing listen over its 40-minute runtime. It's mysterious, lush, melancholic, romantic, and has everything you'd need in a fine shoegaze album. Speaking for myself, I get a deep, spacey feel while listening to the record, and it's definitely a late night kind of album for me. Or even on a long drive, this is truly a remarkable record in that regard too. Definitely check it out. Number 2, The Verve, A Storm in Heaven. A Storm in Heaven is a bit less known to the world than some of the other early 90s shoegaze records, but it's certainly still a record of its own. A Storm in Heaven is an immediate, intense, and ambient record that takes an emotional toll on any listener. The fuzz and driven guitars make it such a novel listen, while its songwriting cleverness really make the record stand out. Definitely give it a spin. Number 3, Slowdive, Slovaki. Souvlaki is a beautiful chorus and reverb-filled album that strikes another emotion with its beautiful lyricism, striking song structures and the constant wondering of what's to come. Many cite Slowdive to be on the number 2 list right behind My Bloody Valentine, for being one of the best shoegaze bands in the world, and rightfully so. This album doesn't necessarily drive or pack a punch as much as A Storm in Heaven, but it's still a fantastic record nonetheless. Number 4, Swervedriver, Mezcal Head. Some people might not classify Swervedriver's Mezcal Head as being a part of the shoegaze spectrum, but it certainly has elements to it. This moving and punk-sounding record gets off to a fast start with its opening track, For Seeking Heat. By the end of the track, you start to see why and how this is a shoegaze album, with its eerie finish to otherworldly lines played over its rock foundation. Honestly, this might be my personal favorite on this list, as I feel it's a bit underrated. Number 5, Ride, Nowhere. Ride's 1990 record, Nowhere. Nowhere is one of the first shoegaze albums to have reached the mass populace, and without it, it's challenging to say how the genre would have evolved, or exist at all. Nowhere is an immaculate record that begins with a riff similar to that of the Beatles' Taxman, but it takes a massive turn with what's to come from the album. It's a monumental moment in rock history for being the foundation for shoegaze. It's definitely a must listen. Number 6, My Bloody Valentine, Loveless. You can't have a shoegaze discussion without bringing up My Bloody Valentine's 1991 masterpiece, Loveless. This record took over 2 years to make and is reported to have cost a boatload of money to make, which can be heard through its noise, avant rock, and dream pop oriented sound. Kevin Shield's wailing guitar is a prominent leading factor of the record, demonstrating a sound not normally heard in the early 1990s. Theme-wise, it's a sorrowful and interpretive-filled record that adds to the reasons why it's arguably the best shoegaze record of all time. If you were to begin with any of these records on your journey with shoegaze, certainly begin with My Bloody Valentine's Loveless. So, what do you think of shoegaze? What shoegaze records would you recommend, and are there any genres you'd want me to do a similar style video for? Let me know in the comments below. Also, check out the description for links to this channel's website, where I have blog posts and other content regarding music. There are also links to Out of Shape Music's Instagram and Twitter, so check those out if you want to stay updated with the channel. Thank you everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll talk to you all soon.